I seriously need your help. Hello there, people from YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Alex, I'm Italian, and today I'm here to ask for your help. But first of all, happy Orange Tuesday, because today is Tuesday and it's the day after Labor Day. If you're American or British, but I think it's mostly an American thing. But anyway, if you're American, happy Orange Tuesday. And now, back to the video. Today I'm here to ask for your help because I'm about to leave from my country and move to Czech Republic in 22 days. So basically by the end of September I'm going to live in another country and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm finally able, after 4 years of moving, finally, was about time. Thank you, world. Anyway, the last time I got a plane was 2019 and I got it to come back home from Prague, Czech Republic. And I didn't go there since. And I'm pretty excited to finally go back after 4 years. And since I'm going to stay there for 3 months more or less, because I'm planning to come back here in Italy to celebrate Christmas with my family, because Christmas with my family is the most special thing ever. The focus of the video wasn't Christmas, I'm sorry. The focus of the video is books, because today we are talking about books. I don't know how many of you read, if you're a book enthusiast like I am, or if you like to read or you just find it boring, which is totally normal because I also found it boring when I went to school, but that's another story. I would like to have your help to try and figure out which books to bring with me. The flight I got allows me to have one suitcase and a bag, and that bag for me is going to be my backpack because I like it better than a general bag, and that way I'm able to bring my laptop, my camera, my tablet, whatever I need to work. And also I would like to bring some books with me to go both with my backpack and with my suitcase. And yeah, since I only have 20 kg for the suitcase, that kind of helps because it means that I can't bring hardcover books with me. So that means no Poppy War, no She Who Became the Sun, and most of all, no The Republic of the Dragon, because it's like giant, and this only would take like probably, I don't know, waiting like now, it's probably going to be like 3 kg or something. Bringing a book with hardcover is out of the picture, unfortunately. So I'm gonna show you the books that I picked that are paperbacks and not too big. So if you read any of these books, it would be cool if you would just leave a comment down below and tell me if you liked it and why you liked it, so to help me decide which ones to bring. I think that I would go with like maybe 5 books in the end, more or less, because also I plan to buy at least 1 book in Czech because I'm trying to learn Czech, and I have a feeling that reading books is going to help a lot. And the book I'm planning to buy is Harry Potter for sure, because that's the one that I know by heart. I know the movie by heart, I know the book by heart, so that is going to help a lot considering that I know it both in English and Italian. Anyway, on with the books. The first one is this one, Piranesi, from Susanna Clark. This was a gift from my mom. She bought it for me 3 years ago. and I still didn't read it. It's been on my bookshelf since then, and I didn't get to it because I had other books that I wanted to read before this. So yeah, this is totally an option because it's not too big. It's like a kind of thin, and yeah, it doesn't weigh that much. It's not too heavy, and like the cover is super cool. So like it sparkled a little bit. The second book is Deathless from Catherine M. Valente. I hope it's that way you read it. I'm sorry if it's not. But yeah, like this book came out here in Italy, at least. I'm not sure about around the world when it came out. Like here, it was published 2 months ago. The thing that got me to buy it is the cover, of course, because it's super cool, and I love phoenixes. Like the phoenix is my favorite fantastic animal, and I actually started reading it a while ago, but I never got to finish it. I stopped at chapter 13, page 156, but I think I stopped it because I wasn't in the right mindset to continue reading this book, unfortunately. It's really happening to me a lot lately that I've been trying to read books, and then I pick books and I'm so excited to start reading them, and then at some point I find myself not into it anymore. And this whole thing, like this whole purpose for bringing so many books with me and having this difficulty to decide which one to pick is because I have so many books that I want to read because of this reader block, like this huge reader block that just fell on my head, and it's basically stopping me from reading anything. Like I could write the grocery list and being tired of reading that too. Deathless is one that I would seriously like to finish reading because it was super interesting, and I found myself really intrigued by Russian stories, and yeah, that's also why I got this book, because it takes place in Russia, and that's really cool. Like East European novels, or at least East European novel based, should be more popular. The third book on the pile is a classic, and it is Journey to the Center of the Earth. And this book actually has a funny story, at least it's funny for me. Like in my head it's funny, but probably it's not. I got this book last year. There was a thing at the bookstore here. You would have to pay 30 euros and get 2 books from the same publisher, and that way you will get a free backpack. And like I'm a sucker for backpacks. I love backpacks. Like I go around with a backpack every single day since forever. So like I got this one, and last night at a Telegraph Club, and I've already read that. It was a really interesting book, and got me to think about a lot of things that I didn't think about before, especially for Chinese people living in the US. So if you didn't read that, you should. Like it's a LGBTQ plus book. The characters are 2 girls that fall in love, and it's really interesting. So you should totally read it if you want to learn more about how it was for people in the LGBT community in the 50s, especially in the US. But yeah, back to Journey at the Center of the Earth. I got this book because the last night at the Telegraph Club was for 20 euros, and I paid this one 10. So I basically got it for the backpack. I watched the movie and I liked it, and I was curious to know what the novel was like. It's not big, it's not thick, and it's perfect. The next book on the pile is another classic, and this time is American literature classic, and it's The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby. And I got this book for like it says here, like it says 2 books 9.90 euros, and I got The Great Gatsby and Arthur Conan Doyle, some I don't remember the name right now, but yeah, I got these 2 classic books for 9.90 euros, which is cool considering that books are crazy expensive lately. And same story for the Journey at the Center of the Earth. I watched the movie and I got curious about the real story, so I got the book. And same as the one before, it's not too thick, it's kind of small. Next, this one is a book that I bought because I read another book of the same author, and is Madeline Miller, like we say in Italian, Circe. I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but it's Circe for us here in Italy. And I read Achilles' Song, and that got me to tears. Like, I cried, and it's not easy to make me cry, especially for books. For books to make me cry, it's kind of like a big thing. I rarely do it. I cried when Dumbledore died. I cried when Snape died, and probably that's all. But I cried reading Achilles' Song, and that really destroyed me. So I decided to give a go to Circe too. If you read any of these books, please let me know. The next stop on the pile is an Italian classic that you probably know, mostly because of Disney movies, and it's Pinocchio. And I got this book at the book fair here in my city last May, and I got it mostly because I'm curious to know what's the difference between the real story and the Disney story. Like, I know Disney sometimes, most of the time, puts the story in a different way than the original is, and a lot of people that I know told me that the original Pinocchio story has nothing to do with the Disney movie. So yeah, that's the main reason why I got Pinocchio. This next book is from a Russian author, and I think it's a Russian classic. Probably, I'm not too sure. I'm new to Russian literature. I've never read anything about Russian literature, so I don't know exactly what this book is about, but I got curious because a lot of people told me that it's a really, really good book. And the book I'm talking about is The Master and Margarita. I also got this book at the book fair, and like I said, I got curious because a lot of people said that it's a really, really interesting and good book, and it's an emotional journey, basically. So sometimes I feel like being emotional and I need to feel things that I can't feel normally, and I try to experience it with stories. So that's why I got this book. I'm almost done, I promise. There's just 2 more books on the pile and then we're done. So second to last book is from a French author, and the name is Christelle Dabo. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. I don't know how to pronounce name in French. But the book is The Missing of Claire de Lune, I think it's the name in English. But yeah, it's the second book of the quartet of the Mirror Visitor, and I read A Winter's Promise not long ago, and it was just awesome. Like, I loved world building, and these covers are amazing, and the illustration on the first book reminded me a lot of Dante Alighieri, the representation they have for the hell he depicts in his biggest work. In Italian literature books, we have a representation of an image of Dante's hell, and the picture you get on A Winter's Promise is exactly what the hell from Dante looks like in our literature books. And that was the first thing that got me to buy the book, and then I started reading it, and I loved every single thing about it. It was crazy interesting. The only annoying part is that I talked a lot with other people online, and other friends told me that after the second book, it gets a little bit worse. And they also told me that the third book, the Babel Tower, I think it is probably the worst of the quartet. So I'm not sure. Like, I'm totally going to finish the entire thing. I want to read all 4 books. I don't know, that kind of slowed me down to read this thing. So I decided to go back to this world because it was a super crazy cool thing. So I decided to go back, and I think that bringing it with me would be a nice way to get to read it, to get to read this again, and to finally go back to this cool world. I know I say cool a lot, but yeah. The only problem with these last 2 books that I'm going to show you, like this one and the next one, is that they are thicker than the other ones and bigger, and a little heavier than the previous books, but I could put these ones in the backpack. So we finally reached the last book on the pile. Last but not least, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Has a really great cover, and I love this piece of art from the Japanese painter. I think it's a paint, I'm not sure, like the wave. It's really cool. I always loved it since I went in school, and also the colors on the cover got me to buy it. The other thing that convinced me to buy this book was the girl at the bookstore, because she saw me trying to figure out, and she saw me trying to decide if buying this or not, and then she told me that she read it in 2 days probably, that she got so into the story, and it was so well written, and the friendship was so good depicted that she couldn't stop reading it. And like the one before, this is pretty thick and pretty big. Like, they're kind of the same, more or less the same size. This one is a little bit bigger, but yeah, I think that 2 big books could go in the backpack. So yeah, these were all the books that I picked from my bookshelves. And yeah, if you read any of the books that I showed you, it would be cool if you would let me know which one you read and if you liked it and why. So that's all for today. And again, for the American people, Happy Orange Tuesday. Subscribe to the channel if you didn't, if you like to, it's free. Leave a like to the video and be sure to comment if you read any of the books that I showed you. Thank you for sticking with me until now if you did, and see you in the next video. Bye!